So this morning we gather in the spirit of thanksgiving, not because it's the season of Thanksgiving, but because gratitude is a spiritual practice that we know from our own practice can actually transform our lives. It's an opportunity for us to go beyond that momentary thank you, you're welcome sort of thing, and move into a time where we look at a deep divine awareness. Because that's where gratitude is rooted, in that divine awareness of who we are. We say each week, or generally, that there's only one power and one presence in the universe and in our life, and that is God, who is good and omnipotent. And we recognize that being a part of who each one of us is. Not only are we a part of God, but God is a part of us. There's that indwelling Christ spirit that's in each one of us, that is a part of us that allows us to center ourselves and align ourselves with what's going on in the world. So I want us to begin this morning with an affirmation. I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to ask you to say it with me. I am grateful for the blessings in my life, seen and unseen. I am grateful for the blessings in my life, seen and unseen. Charles Dickens said, reflect upon your present blessings, of which each person has many, not on your past misfortune, where most people have some. We each have far more blessings than we have misfortunes, even though it doesn't always seem that way. There are so many blessings that are poured into each one of us each day that we take for granted, that sort of unseen thing. And sometimes it's those unseen things that become the biggest blessings in our lives. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but I'm grateful for those unseen things. Because sometimes what I think I want and what I might pray about and ask for are things I am very later grateful didn't occur. So we need to be grateful for those things that we can see and those things that are unseen in our lives. Thanksgiving gives us an opportunity to concentrate on the good in our lives. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God. That goes back to the will of God. And what is the will of God for each one of us? It's simply good. God, I don't believe, has a planned out life for each one of us. I don't think there's a pattern that we have to follow or we're out of God's will. I think we get to make our choices, and that becomes a part of God's will for us, because God's will for us is only good. That goes back to the saying that one power is good. That is it. It's good for each one of us, and that's what's reaching out to each one of us. As I was preparing for this morning's talk, I have to tell y'all that it's the first time I've ever prepared a talk while I was sitting on a balcony overlooking the Strip in Las Vegas. But that's where I spent a week or so ago. So it was an interesting contrast to what was going on in my brain, what was going on out in front of me. It was very different. But as I was considering this talk, I was reminded of a story I heard a long time ago about Corrie ten Boom. And she and her sister were prisoners in a German death camp during World War II. And as Corrie told the story, many years later, she and her sister had entered a new barracks, and they were horrified to discover that it was infested with fleas. Doesn't that just make you cringe a little bit? A room full of fleas, a barracks full of fleas. And she said that she began to cry. But her sister said, nope, we're going to pray about this. We're going to stop right now, and we're going to give thanks for the fleas. So Corrie, thinking that Betsy had lost her mind, said that she decided to go along with it. So they bowed their heads, and they stopped what they were doing, and they blessed the fleas. And they thanked God for fleas. A lot of us would have a very hard time doing that, I'm pretty sure. But over time, Corrie said she wondered why the rules were so lax inside of their bunkhouse. No guards ever came to check on them. In fact, they were allowed to have Bible study at night, which was very supportive of the women who were in this barracks. And she didn't understand why. And then she said that she learned later on, and she was very shocked to discover that the guards were frightened by the fleas, so they left them alone. They didn't go near them. A blessing, seen and unseen. Fleas. Hard to be thankful for some things in our lives. Yet they're there to help us. They're there as a part of our growth process. Again, our affirmation, I am grateful for blessings in my life, seen and unseen. Gratitude is more than a polite thank you, although that's a part of it. It's also a spiritual force that aligns us with the divine flow of life. In unity, we understand that our thoughts and our beliefs and our feelings shape our experiences. We're co-creating with God. And gratitude lifts up our consciousness. It lifts us up and helps us to see the good that's already present, even when it's not obvious. We give thanks, not ignoring the circumstances in our lives, but including them, allowing us to see with spiritual eyes and trusting that everything is unfolding for our good. Everything is unfolding just the way it's supposed to. Right now in the world, when I look around and I look at our country and I look how we're fitting in with the world, I see a lot of things that I don't necessarily agree with or love. But reality is, it's all working out the way it's supposed to. We either believe in divine order or we don't. Divine order. Things are working out the way they're supposed to. They're unfolding, even in difficult situations, for our good. I challenge you to reflect this week on what you can be grateful for in your life. Not just the easy blessings, but the hidden ones. The lessons that we learn each day. The growth and the soul evolution that's taking place in each of our lives. Life lessons are a part of our human experience. We learn from both successes and from our failures. And from these lessons, we learn perseverance. We learn taking responsibility for our own happiness and continually learning and adapting to the different situations that are part of our daily life. I encourage you this week to reflect on the grace that you see occurring in your life. Areas where we can certainly be grateful. God's grace is innate and inherent in every one of us. I don't believe what some people preach, that there is favor for some and not for everyone. God's grace is grace for all of us. It's a part of who we are, incarnated with us at the time of our birth. As we grow spiritually, we connect with our inner divine nature, and we better understand grace. Reflect this week on the grace that you see in your life. In the Gospel of Luke, we find a story of gratitude. And the story says, as Jesus was approaching a village, 10 men with leprosy approached him. They stayed a distance away and they called out, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." And Jesus did. And he responded to them, "Go show yourselves to the priest." And as they went away, they were cleansed. One of them, when he was healed, came back, praising God in a loud voice, and he threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was the Samaritan. Jesus asked, "Were not all 10 cleansed? Where are the other 9? So after the 10 men were cleansed, one came back and praised God and said, "Thank you." That's a profound lesson in gratitude for us. 10 men suffering from leprosy, which separated them from society, called out to Jesus for healing. Moved by compassion, Jesus healed them, and only one returned to say thank you. So from this story, we learn that gratitude is a spiritual response, not just a societal courtesy. Gratitude is a conscious act of faith. Gratitude deepens our relationship with God. And if you go further into the story, Jesus said to the Samaritan, "Your faith has made you whole." His belief that when he asked for healing, he would receive it had made him whole. This gives us a deeper communion with the divine. God's grace is for everyone. Divine love transcends all boundaries and all people. It's there for each of us. Healing is more than just physical. We've talked about this before. There's a difference between healing and curing, being cured. The Samaritan was made whole in body, mind, and spirit by his faith. Gratitude is transformational. As we transform, we begin to see ourselves differently. The qualities of God are within each one of us. We say often that God expresses in, as, and through us. Here's the hard part. God expresses in, as, and through every other person in the world too. You hear me say this often. There are people in this world who would probably like to, at times, hold me by the neck and bop me on the head to get my attention, to help me learn a lesson, to let me understand something. But I also know there's people on this earth that I would like to occasionally hold by the neck and bop them right on the head. Yet we are all an expression of God, period. Good, bad, like them, love them, don't like them at all, don't love them. They're all a part of us. We are all one together. That's a part of our oneness, and our love for one another has to reach out to all people. If we really want to change this world and we really want to see peace in a world, then we have to see change. And change has to always start with us. It can't start anywhere else. Gratitude changes our focus from what's missing to what's present. It transforms fear into faith and scarcity into substance and resentment into peace. I am grateful for the blessings in my life, seen and unseen. Gratitude is a way of being. When we cultivate it daily, we can begin to see the overflow in each of our lives. And as we begin to live from that overflow, things take place that are different. Living from the overflow is a spiritual concept that basically means living with a mindset of abundance, grace, and provision, not concentrating on scarcity. When I look out, I don't see empty pews. I see people who are exactly where we were meant to be at this moment because we chose to be here. We are the ones who can change this world by living the life that each of us is called to live. Living from the overflow is trusting God provides more than for just our needs. That includes not only material wealth, but also includes emotional and spiritual wealth. Richness achieved through a deep relationship with God. So how do we do that? I would encourage you to keep a gratitude journal if you don't already. Write down 3 things every day that you're grateful for. It will change your mindset. It will change how you're looking at things. Begin each day with a moment of thanksgiving. So I start every morning as I'm driving to work with my gratitude list. It keeps me calm as I'm driving to work. And I have a really short distance to go, and it's really no traffic. It's a lot of cows on both sides of the road. But as I'm going to the university, I state the things that I'm grateful for. At night, when I crawl into bed, I state again the things for which I am grateful. I encourage you to try it. It will change how your day begins and how your day ends. Express appreciation to others, often and sincerely. Appreciation is not taking anything that people do for us for granted. It's not becoming so busy and so concerned with life that we forget to say thank you. Appreciation is being thankful all the time. Through appreciation, we attract more blessings and we become like a magnet, attracting blessings to us as we are grateful for the things that we have. Here, we express gratitude for our prayer chaplains and others who pray for us. We express gratitude for our ambassadors and our greeters who stand out front and greet people as they come in. We express gratitude for people who come and worship with us each week. We express gratitude for our hospitality team and those who help clean up. We express gratitude for our musicians and our singers. We express gratitude for those who come and share their lived experiences with us. We express gratitude for those who tithe and who give to keep the church doors open. We express gratitude for those doing their deep soul work. And we express gratitude for our board of directors at UCFL. As I was thinking about our board of directors, I remembered a story somebody told me a while back. And I think about the difficult work that the board has to do. And this is the story of a strong man in a circus. And the strong man went up in front of everybody and he had a lemon in his hand. And he squeezed the lemon as hard as he could, and all of the juice poured out of the lemon. And then he said to the audience, "I offer $200 to anyone who can squeeze another drop from this lemon." And this skinny, thin, scholarly-looking woman came forward. She picked up the lemon, she strained, and a drop of juice fell down. The strong man was stunned. He gave the lady the $200, and then he said, "What's the secret of your strength?" And she looked at him and said, "Practice. I was a church treasurer for 32 years. So thank you to our board of directors, who every day squeeze that lemon one more time. In Unity, we teach that gratitude is a cornerstone of spiritual living and practice. Gratitude is contagious. When we live from the overflow of gratitude, we become a blessing to our families, our communities, and our world. Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, said, "Gratitude is the great multiplier of good." When we overflow with gratitude, we're not just receiving blessings. We are, as I said before, co-creating them. We're participating in that divine dance of giving and receiving that is so there for each one of us. And as we live in the overflow, we can see our lives and the world differently. I read another story recently about a blind boy who sat on the steps of a building with a hat at his feet. And he held a sign that said, "I am blind, please help." There were only a few coins in his hat, and very few people were dropping anything in. But a man walked by, and he dropped some coins in, and then he said to the boy, "Can I write a different message on your sign?" And the boy said, "Sure." I mean, he had nothing to lose at that point, right? So the man turned the sign around and wrote some words on it, and then he gave the boy back the sign. And he put it in his hand, and the boy held it up with his hat still there. And soon the hat began to fill up. More people were dropping money into this blind boy's hat. Later on, the man started to come back just to see how things had gone. And the boy recognized his footsteps and asked, "Weren't you the one who changed my sign? What did you write?" And the man said, "I only wrote the truth. I said what you said, but in a different way. I wrote, 'Today is a beautiful day, but I can't see it.'" Both signs spoke the truth. But the first sign simply said the boy was blind. The second sign conveyed to all those walking by of the gratitude that they should have for the ability to see the beauty of the day. When our lives seem full of troubles and outer circumstances of the world begin to weigh us down, it's time for us to go back to gratitude. Sometimes when things are going great and everything is good, we forget gratitude. We need to be thankful in every situation. I want us to end this morning with the same affirmation with which we began. I am grateful for the blessings in my life, seen and unseen. And so it is. Thank you. I invite you now to take a deep breath. Allow yourself to be in a comfortable position. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. Relax your neck muscles. Allow all of your face to simply relax. Place your hands in your lap. Let your feet touch the ground. Take a deep breath. Inhale peace. Exhale any tension that you might find in your body. Center yourself with a divine presence that lives within each one of us. Feel the presence of divine love flowing through you. It's a part of who you are. Feel that love. As you're comfortable doing so, I invite you to place your hand in your heart space. Feel the warmth and the love of the presence of God expressing in, as, and through you. Affirm silently, I am grateful for the blessings in my life, seen and unseen. Allow your mind to gently rest on the blessings, both large and small. Notice those simple gifts like breath, the warmth of a sunlight, the kindness of a friend. Each is a reminder of the abundance of good in our lives, the good that surrounds us. As you take another breath, I am grateful for the blessings in my life, seen and unseen. And I invite you now to spend a moment in the silence as you consider the many blessings in your life. I encourage you now to think beyond yourself to those around you, the world in which we live. Think about the ways that you can bless the world. Feel your love radiating outward to your community, to your family, and to this world. See every person and every circumstance as an opportunity for love and for growth. Affirm with me, I am grateful for the blessings in my life, seen and unseen. I invite you to take another deep breath. And as you're comfortable, open your eyes, come back into this space with a spirit of gratitude and of love. and so it is. Amen.